Welcome to Perspectives in Mobile, the news podcast from the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. Join us discussing the world of telecommunications, technology, and mobile innovations. From London, Dario Betti, MEF CEO.
Hello and welcome to Perspectives in Mobile, the podcast from the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. My name is Dario Betti. I'm the CEO of MEF. It is a pleasure to welcome you to another one of our appointments where we talk to some of the people that are shaping this industry, that are helping to understand where we are going, what's their perspective, what they think that these industry, these markets are developing into. And I'm very happy to welcome all the way from Indonesia somebody that has been particularly active within MEF, I should say, a fantastic background. We share a lot of interest, it turns out, and a lot of common past careers. So much of interest for the perspectives in digital transformation, in operation management, in processes, in telecommunication, from Wendhyharto Kusumaatmadja. But Wendy, did I say your surname?
Excellent,
Okay.
excellent.
It was a bit better.
Thank you very much.
But Wendy, I think we had a lot to cover today. But as I did say it, in your role at TELIN, which is the international, I'll say, wholesale arm, I could probably say, of PT Telecomunications Indonesia. So Telecom Indonesia, correct? So part of a very big group. A big global group with lots of different companies, lots of different brands behind that. Lots of people, lots of companies. It sounds like there's a lot of communication, team collaboration, a lot of things happening. So not just as a vendor, I would say, but really as a user in operations in telecommunication. What's your perspective on how all of these technology we are having right now is reshaping work development and team collaboration today? So what's your view from TELIN?
Okay, Dario. I think technology for me is not only kind of fundamentally reshape how everyone work, because in technology we also need to collaborate and then create value, especially in organizations operating across the borders like us, right? And after the pandemic, actually there was some big shifting because work becoming the location agnostic, and the real shift is actually deeper than only remote work. Imagine that usually people working in the office together, they meet each other, and suddenly the world is changing and people can talk and discuss, communicate, collaborate in different locations. And technology is actually now enable secure, consistent collaboration at scale, which is actually essentially for global company like TELIN. When we use it correctly, it will increase the engagement rate, shorten decision cycles, and allows team across regions to operate as one. And at TELIN, technology is not just a productivity tools, because actually is an enabler of the trust, collaboration, and share ownership across our global footprint, this is very critical because to support enterprises scaling across the Asia Pacific and beyond, we really require that, the people, the process, and also the tools which is behind that. There was a technology.
That's very interesting. So this is applying to all companies of different sizes, I would say, as well. But your size is much easier to spot it. Now, for what you're seeing at TELIN, which is this huge company, what other technology shift happening right now in our teams in the right shop? What kind of new tools, so to speak, do we have? What kind of new things are coming to make things easier, or sometimes not?
Okay, thank you, Dario, for the question. I think this is an interesting question. So the most important shift is actually to move away from silo type of environment. The collaborative type of engagement, and also platform-oriented ways of working instead of traditional type of communication of working. Large organization usually struggle with the hierarchical waterfall execution, low engagement, and at the end of the day, it will lead into a slow type of deliverables and outcomes. At TELIN, we recognize that the digital transformation starts with people mindset and also culture. This is actually why Pak Budi, before as the former CEO of TELIN, focused during the transformation on people mindset and culture, not only technology. That's why we have invested early. Now it's already been 4 years after that started to build so-called TELIN Agile working system that promotes collaborations, adaptability, accountability across function and countries where TELIN people are available. So the shift actually directly support TELIN missions to enable customers and partners to create value from the digital ecosystem and economy, because something that happen from this kind of collaborations, it only can be scaled up when the team themselves are empowered to work seamlessly across the boundaries.
No, thanks for correcting me there. I was immediately say shift, an important shift. Let's talk about technology. You say let's talk about people instead, and isn't that true? Before anything else, and let's focus on platforms. Let's talk about how we work. Well, let's focus on how you have worked then, by Wendhy, because as we like to play with these terms of perspectives, what's your vision of the world? But how did you get to this specific vision? Career-wise, your career spans financial services, telcos, digital startups, so remarkably different. How did these different industries shape your view of digital transformation? What did you get from this experience?
Yes, actually, my core major of study is actually hospitality.
Oh, impressive.
The hospitality that many processes, many traditional processes, many engagement, satisfying people, and I also start to go into hospitality industry, aviation. As you know, aviation is a very strict regulation to be there, right? Because if you miss 0.1 point in the calculation, it can endanger the people in the aircraft as well. So that's what bring me kind of try to mastery all the business processes and also people engagement over there. So this have taught me one key lesson, that technology only works when it's built on deep understanding of people and processes. So that's the basic where I starting from. That's why I always try to learn first the process, and then the outcome expected. That's something that we need to work out based on the process that we have. And then in highly regulated and service driven industry like financial industry, aviation industry, the outcomes actually depend on discipline, consistency, and human judgment. So the digitalization should enhance those strengths and not bypassing them. That's why I think people can only become true digital champions when they understand the business context, and they also understand the business processes. Otherwise, the transformation will become so superficial, and people will only be a digital fashionista. It looks like digital, but actually they don't really do digital things because the process they forgot. They just want to be fast. And that's why many initiatives fail. And I do believe that this is strongly influences how we approach digital initiative in TELIN.
Very, very interesting. I will remember that, the focus from the hospitality or on people, and the focus on aviation security and processes, really important. It reminds you when you look at a different industry, how to think of it. But I like the last mention here as well, is the depth of digital transformations. It's very easy to cosmetically say you're transforming, doing things digitally, if at the end there's nothing behind it. So let's look at a a bit more about TELIN, I would say. So you say, let's go to that, at least one part of a depth. And then let's understand what's the mission and international collaborations you might have in TELIN itself. For those listeners that don't actually know, probably, let's start with how would you describe TELIN? I tried to give a summary at the beginning, but I might have not done a great job. What's your role in the global telecom and digital ecosystem?
Okay, so TELIN is actually a telecom group subsidiary which is focused on the global digital infrastructure arm, playing a key role in connecting businesses across Asia Pacific and international markets. And as its core, TELIN enables enterprises to scale securely and consistently across borders. With a presence of the key global hubs of more than 160 points of presence worldwide, TELIN provides enterprise-grade connectivity, digital platforms, and also infrastructure that support multi-country operations. And beyond connectivity, actually, at the moment, TELIN acts as a digital infrastructure and platform partner of choice, empowering enterprises, hyperscalers, and also digital companies to run integrated, data-driven, and compliant digital business at scale. So, in short, TELIN actually bridges local strengths with the global reach, supporting a cross-border collaboration and long-term digital growth, especially in the Indo-Pacific region and also the global market. So that's what I can say about TELIN in short.
Oh, thank you. And more specifically, let's go back to yourself. You're the group head of digital at TELIN, a role you've held since 2022. So within TELIN, what's the scope of your digital initiative function? What are your priorities today?
So when I joined this 2022 February, so my first question to my former CEO is that, what is my role? Because I never heard the group head digital initiative before. And he told me that I have to focus on how to make sure that the key component of transformation, which is people and process, is having a fundamental aspect to be changed. So what I can say actually, I found out that actually the digital initiative function at TELIN act as a transformation catalyst across the organization. So our scope goes beyond delivering digital tools or products. We focus on shaping mindset, culture, ways of working that enable sustainable transformation, I mean. So we are not focusing on building digital services, but we are focusing on shaping mindset, culture, and ways of working, which will enable sustainable transformation within TELIN. Our key priorities today, actually, there are three of them. Number one, embedding the Agile working system as a consistent operating model across entities and regions. Second, developing people as the digital champion, as I mentioned before, and then equip them with the mindset and capability to collaborate, co-create, innovate, and execute faster. And the third one is actually enabling cross-functional and cross-country initiative that will directly support TELIN's evolution from traditional telco into a platform and ecosystem-driven techco. So in short, actually, our role is to ensure that digital transformation at TELIN is not episodic, is not seasonal, but systemic and scalable.
Well, I'd like to follow up on that third priority then as well. When you say geographically as well, you did identify it as the Indo-Pacific as one of the area and outside. So operating as TELIN across Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, Malaysia, the US, more. How does that work in a global footprint influence your collaboration? You know, how does it make all those processes across the geographic, the time zone, etc.?
Okay, so working across the global footprint requires team to be deliberately about how they collaborate and co-create. I always put these two things together, yeah, collaborate and co-create. Not just rely on the proximity. Actually, this isn't my first experience in global organizations. I've previously also worked at the headquarters level and manage regional operation across multiple countries, especially on the marketing side. Yeah. So I've seen firsthand how distance can either slow teams down or strengthen them. But mostly on the first statement I said, because the understanding of the people when the distance happened, that was the key challenge. In Thailand, we're accustomed to operate globally. So strong English proficiency, shared digital tools, and common language allow teams to communicate clearly and work effectively across borders. And as a result, in here, geography is no longer a barrier, and it becomes the diversity advantage. That's what from my perspective. And then what really makes the difference is having a shared culture and operating model. So with TELIN Agile working system and one TELIN mindset, the team across regions collaborate with the same principles, priorities, and sense of ownership, even though when they're actually 1,000 miles apart.
I want to go back to TELIN now, and I want to say now, okay, great, we understand the philosophy, but if I have to pick TELIN as a partner, why are you well positioned to lead transformation internally as it sounds, but also externally to companies and partners out there? Why should people pick you?
Yeah, I think based on what I have mentioned before, actually, TELIN is considered as a well positioned because we combine global grade digital infrastructure with a strong transformation culture, as people is the key factor of the transformation. On one side, we have a deep capabilities in international connectivity, subsea infrastructure, and digital platforms that enable enterprises and partners to scale across regions. On the other side, we have invested heavily in people and ways of working. I repeat, we have invested heavily in people and ways of working. Through our TELIN Agile working system and One TELIN culture, we have built strong cross-functional collaboration, faster execution, and higher engagement. And this is actually a very critical aspect for working with partners in a complex ecosystem, right? The combinations allows TELIN to not only transform internally, but also act as a trusted platform and ecosystem partner for enterprises, hyperscaler, and digital companies. So that's basically to answer your question, Dario.
Well, thank you. And you might see that in my questions, I'll go back and forth, but something you just mentioned, uh, which I liked and I said, is about people. When you look at digitalization, and I did ask technology, but you came back and said people. What has it meant so far for people and culture of talent? What do they tell you back?
Okay. So this is actually a good framework of question and very structured. That's why it's convenient for me to answer it. At TELIN, digitalization is inseparable from culture. So you cannot put it in a two different way, the two different position. Well, Agile is actually often associated with software development, as you know, right? Agile, Scrum, something that we put in that kind of methodology. But deliberately, we position Agile as company-wide culture, not a technical framework, because the starting point is that we are starting with people. Through the TELIN Agile working system, we transform on how people collaborate and co-create by breaking silos, simplifying decision-making process, enabling faster response to change. Cultural foundation for us is actually essential to support TELIN to do evolution from a traditional telco into a techco and also platform-driven organization.
Understood. Well, and so many questions I still have, but I think
Yes.
time is always a concern. I probably need to jump and ask you more about skills, talent, future of work. Looking back at your 25 years plus of experience in transformation, what skills would you say the most essential for these teams, for people, because you're saying it's all about people. So what skills do the people need to have, not the technology, for the next 5 years?
Okay. So for me, people again, and for TELIN, yeah, people is really the key aspect of transformation, also for the future work. So based on my transformation experience, my experience already like 3 times going through the transformation in the company I work. So there will be 5 skills that I consider as a very critical to have in one company. Yeah. So in TELIN now, we are focusing on the agile mindset skills that every TELINers have to have it. And the number 2, the orchestration skill across unit and partners. And this is something that required to have the third skill, which is simplification and problem solving capability. So simplification and problem solving capability. The number 4 is data driven storytelling, because making a right narrative is more important than telling the description of everything without knowing the reason behind. Because our aim is actually to make people understand. And the last one, this is very important in this VUCA environment, is adaptability, because the change will always be there. So these skills are essential for operating in platform-based ecosystem, API-driven environment, and multi-partner digital landscape and ecosystem, which is exactly where TELIN is heading now.
Interesting. So I like these, and I'll keep to my mind those 5 skills. But what happens when you got talent and they don't show up necessarily with skills? I mean, is it the questions of changing mindsets? Is it training and reskilling? How do you attract this kind of future perfect digital native workers that have got these characteristics?
Okay, thank you, Dario. So in here, what we can see is that based on the 4 years doing in TELIN, yeah, so mindset will always comes first. Technology and skills will be evolved quickly if the people is ready. But without the right culture, transformation will stall. In TELIN, the digital initiative function act as a catalyst, which means that we are focusing first on building digital mindset, collaboration and co-creation, and also agility. And once that foundation is established, reskilling and innovation accelerate naturally, because we have 3A concept. Number 1, A is aware. Number 2 is accept. And number 3 is adapt. Number 3 is adapt. And by having this 3A means that this approach aligns directly with TELIN purpose by accelerating digital transformation while creating positive sustainable impact. So once they understand and accept, actually it's easier for us to continue the collaboration, co-creation, and this what make the complexity become simple.
I like the 3 A's, which makes me asking the next question there is, okay, then you're using a narrative there, right? You're trying to motivate by showing a picture, a story. How does that work across your global teams as well? How do you craft this narrative across global teams?
Yes. So actually, narrative is one of the most powerful leadership tools, because that is intended to make people understand, right? If the leader says so and tell the story rightly, people will agree and understand, because they know what to do. And in TELIN, we are focusing on crafting a narrative that is simple, consistent, meaningful, regardless of geography. But we have the same objective. And the starting point of how the management is setting up is always start from our North Star. TELIN purpose, vision, and mission is that to translate strategy into a story that people can relate to what they are doing now, and relate on how they can collaborate to make it happen. And why transformation matters is what role its team plays, and how their contributions create real impact for customers, partners, and broader digital ecosystem. So we actually reinforce this narrative through actions, not just words. By empowering the squad team that we make within the TELIN Agile working system, we celebrating the win of collaboration, even though it's only a baby step, And recognizing teams that live our agile values means that we are doing not push methodology, but we are doing a pull methodology. So people are motivating. So program like Agile Working System and Digital Initiative will help turn the narrative into daily experience, not only as an abstract messaging. So when people across different countries hear the same narrative, the same story, and see consistent the leadership, behavior, and experience the same values in action, motivation follows naturally, and that's how we build engagement and share identity as one TELIN across the border, across the region, across the TELIN subsidiary.
Okay.
So that's what I can say about it, Dario.
Well, thank you. Now let's look into the future. We like that a lot. Now we've been talking about the present of something which is a change mechanism to go where. I mean, where is the digital transformation in telecom in the next decade? So what should we expect to happen?
Okay, now with there is already kind of path of transformation, right, in the telco industry. So from telecommunication traditionally, and then move up to digital telco, and move up to techco. So digital transformation in telecommunication industry is actually shifting only by selling a product like a connectivity to enabling platform and ecosystems. And ecosystem means that everyone have to have the same language, everyone have to be able to integrate, everyone have to be able to collaborate and co-create, even though they are different. So this is what make the industry moving, because the ecosystem strength point is this is something that comes from its part of the ecosystem. The future belongs to telcos that combine network, cloud, APIs, and other type of technology with, again, people with agile culture and strong collaboration. And this is actually to drive the real digital value that we can extract to deliver the outcome that required by the industry and also the customer of the telecom industry.
Interesting. And there is a future talking. There is some the terms everybody refers to AI. Behind that, there is the entire trend of automations of sometimes technology substituting some of the tasks that we take and do it. So how do you see this balance between what is a technology-driven and a human-driven collaboration now? Because AI is going to take some of the functions that people have done so far. So how are we going to deal with AI from now on?
So this is an interesting question, Dario, because I saw AI is everywhere, right? AI is in the industry, AI is in the personal life, and AI is everywhere. But something what we can take as a kind of high level understanding about AI and human is actually human will increasingly act as an orchestrators. So the future what we see is that people will tend to work with multiple agentic AI agents, and because AI or agentic AI now start to work on different platform and crossing domain, and this actually have made a human that actually need to work rather than only passive user tools, because agentic AI will operate across platform, cloud, network, security, and proactively supporting outcomes. And at the same time, humans will remain responsible for judgment and validation, because if this also take away by the I don't know where the human being is actually valued in this supply chain. So if humans will remain responsible for the judgment, validation, and also strategic direction, then the future is not something that we are worrying of. But the future is not about replacing people, but about augmenting human capability at scale, which align, with the evolution of the company, which TELIN is part of it, toward API-driven platform-based service. So it will be a symbolic mutualism working together, which will, at the end of the day, will give benefit to the ecosystem itself. That's what we can say from our perspective.
So let's stay on TELIN and the TELIN perspective. So what are the innovations? You seem to have already mentioned a few there. What are the opportunities that excite you the most for TELIN's future itself?
Yeah. Okay. So, what excites us actually in here is that in this very fast moving the market, yeah, and we actually have no control in the market because we have to follow the market, and sometimes the market go faster than us, and even go faster than the customer. So we have the opportunity then to innovate with the clear strategic intent, but we don't want to shooting the moonshot without having a clear direction. So everything for us is start from our north star and corporate strategy. We have to understand where we want to go. We have to identify the real pain points in the market, and at the end of the day, we focus on how to innovate and create the idea on solving the problem to become very meaningful for the ecosystem, for the customer, and also for the partners. Equally important is actually the collaboration, because many of these challenges cannot be solved alone. As I mentioned before, we're building ecosystem, which is why the partnership, yeah, with all the partners, hyperscaler, digital companies, ecosystem players, are very critical for us to create a scalable solutions. And for externally, we have a plan to do that, but we don't forget that we also have focus to our internal team. So last year, we have launched a program which is focused on innovation from inside of TELIN, and then we call it the program TELIN Entrepreneur. So we empower our people to turn their ideas after seeing the market changes, after seeing the market challenges, and how to turn their ideas into real initiative, connecting our strategy, the execution, and also supported by the agile mindset culture. And this combination of ecosystem collaboration and internal innovation is what will help TELIN to create the new revenue stream and also position TELIN strongly for the future as a part of the ecosystem and the industry. So that's what I think about your question, Dario.
Well, thank you very much. And as he's probably the time to come to the conclusion, to ask you the last questions for today. Time flies, but Wendhy. So, but let's summarize them. So if we were to now tell somebody out there, what's your message? The message our listeners should take away from your perspective today on digital transformations and internal communication.
So after listen to me while I'm talking. We do hope that actually the key takeaway, there are two of them. So change is that something that inevitable, especially in this VUCA environment, and telecommunication industry is one of them who are having quite many VUCA environment. And organizations that thrive are those that prepare their people to be agile, adaptable, and resilient. The second one, in TELIN, we believe people are the true drivers of transformation. So with the right mindset, culture, and strategy, we can turn disruption into opportunity, and we can continue to deliver sustainable value in the digital economy. So that's why we will be able to give our best for the ecosystem. We will give our best for the industry, especially when we give our best for the customers.
Well, fantastic. I would like to thank you again and to participate today. I'd love to continue some of these discussions. It seems like we cannot cover all in 30 minutes, but for today and for this episode of Perspectives, our podcast from MEF, there's a big thank you to Wendhy, to Wendhyharto Kusumaatmadja. Apologies, the group head of digital initiatives and vice president at TELIN. So thank you again to all of you. Thank you for listening to us as well, and we hope to meet you again here in another podcast from MEF. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Perspectives in Mobile. Join us next as we explore telecoms, technology, and mobile innovations. Stay tuned, stay connected, and let's unlock the mobile potential together.